he paid their school fees when some of them ran into problems with the laws as they existed at that time. You remember Raila was there for them to make sure, those who...
Yes, just briefly as we conclude, because I know you want to join your colleagues on the other side. Yesterday we saw and heard CSO, and he was also he said he's a life member of the ODM party, that Raila left ODM in the government through the broad-based arrangement.
Yes.
And from where you stand, ODM, do you think is going to experience some conflict going forward?
I think, as you heard earlier, being a democratic party, some people had different views, but we always say we must be tolerant and accommodative of each other. Some of us truly believe, like I have told you, there was very big reason why Raila made the decision he made. The only issue you're saying is that we may not have a structured political arrangements, but for the sake of the country, we are all Kenyans. We have got this kind of engagement, what we are calling the broad-based government. But ODM as a party had not had proper negotiations in terms of coalition and all this with Kwanza, Kenya Kwanza. And he said that time when it comes, we'll cross the bridge when we are there. But definitely, the milestone that Raila said is that the country is more important than anybody else. And us working together was more important. And remember, a lot of time these politicians, we work together. Even William Ruto is also just a founder member of ODM. So many other people, Kalonzo, we were with them in ODM before they left. So at the end of the day, what is important? What are our values as a nation? So for now, the fact that Raila thought it was good for us to have a broad-based government, I tend to think that's where we should continue to be as we think through the process as to how now in the future we are going to engage.
Today is the viewing body for the locals this side. Have you come alone? Have you come with your people from Busia?
Yes, we have come with a lot of people from Busia, but there are also so many people who will be going to Bondo. And as I said, we may not be able to satisfy everybody. Those who will be able to do it here today will do. And those who will be able to do it in Bondo will do. Like now, from here myself, I will be going to Bondo to do Teruboru. I want to take my cows there. My people are already taking some cows there. So we'll have to take some cows to the homestead. Just the traditional way of mourning. I know the time has been short, but there's a big delegation from Busia that is going this afternoon to be doing Teruboru there in Bondo. And then tomorrow we expect again another very big delegation that is going to pay their last respects.
Apparently, I think the decision is made and the board has now been brought outside. And Governor, I will let you to join your colleagues on the other side. Thank you so much for making time for us. Well, the scenes you're seeing in the scenes on your screen right now, that is the body of Raila Odinga that is now brought outside, and I believe probably they have made a decision whether this will be taken there by road or by air, and apparently it looks like it will be taken there by a plane. Maybe it won't go by the roadside. So that means the locals that have gathered here at the gate or to this airport will not have a chance, as the body will now be, apparently it will be taken to Mamboleo for public viewing by air, and you can see the procession that is now going on here at the Kisumu International Airport. The body of Raila Odinga moving. This, remember, I told you this is a military affair, and the procession that is clearly shown on your screen right now, that is the body of Raila Odinga. I'm waiting to see whether that body will be taken to the plane for airlifting into Mamboleo Stadium. But keep it Channel 1 as we can basically show you everything that goes on here live from the ground.
Well, what you're just witnessing right now is that the funeral committee leaders, some of them, as well as top organs of the Kenya Defence Forces, have decided to airlift the body of the ODM leader Raila Odinga, as opposed to using the gun carriage that was used here in the capital to traverse or snake it through the capital. But that will not be the case in Kisumu. But our reporter Wycliffe has just informed us that many had already gathered outside the Kisumu International Airport awaiting for that procession to start, given to the strict timelines that has been given to give people as well as ample time to view the body, given that the government clearly stated that at exactly few minutes past 8, the body is expected at Mamboleo grounds to give people ample time. You can see that is a chopper that will be airlifting the body of the ODM Premier Raila Odinga that will land exactly at the Mamboleo grounds. We also do have our cameras there as and when it arrives there, given that it is just a few minutes from the Kisumu International Airport. You were seeing our very own Wycliffe just conversing with the Busia governor, that is Paul Otuoma, in terms of what he was able to learn as a leader from the ODM leader Raila Odinga. Now that particular convoy consists of the Kenya Army, the Navy and the Air Force, given that it is a state funeral. It is overseen by KDF. We are trying to get a better angle for you. Of course, the security operators are coordinating in this effort, especially with the National Police Service. You can see on your screen as well, Mamboleo grounds is already packed to the brim. We're trying to get you a better angle. That is the aircraft. More importantly, know that this is the aircraft that will carry the body of the ODM leader Raila Odinga's remains, be airlifted to Mamboleo grounds. Already, even the members of the cloth as well as the sheikh who are preparing to pray for the body, of course, to carry out a small ceremony there at the Kisumu International Airport, were airlifted as well to Mamboleo grounds, so they're preparing there. The KDF is trying to place the body inside the casket, I should say, inside that particular aircraft so that it can be airlifted. Members of the committee of the funeral organization committee, spearheaded by the Deputy President and Dr. Oburu Oginga, the Senator of Siaya. Some of them are already here, including the Governor of Mombasa, Abdul Samad Sharif Nasir, as well as Gladys, the Governor of Homa Bay, are currently overseeing this particular exercise, working hand in hand with the various security operators. They're placing now the casket inside. You can see inside the aircraft belongs to the Kenya Air Force, working in tandem with the Kenya Army and the Navy. This is an exercise that has been coordinated by the CDF General Kariri himself and the various generals leading the Kenya Army, Navy and Air Force. So any moment from now, that particular chopper will be landing at Mamboleo grounds. The casket is already inside. And unfortunately, the people who had already gathered outside the Kisumu International Airport, I'm sure they will be informed to go to the stadium directly, Millie, because they wanted to do the same thing they did here at JKIA.
Yes, like I was saying earlier, at least the leaders are tried and seen in various platforms,
yes,
trying to tell them that please go to Mamboleo because that is where the body will land, and that is where you'll be able to view. So I think it's a good thing because we are already running about 15 minutes behind schedule.
Yes.
If we are to be strictly on time as anticipated, that is 15 minutes of viewer time. If yesterday's process was anything to go by, that is almost 1,000 people who would have already viewed in the 15 minutes because of the speed with which that the military was allowing the crowd to pass through, yes, in order to view. We would have already covered quite a good number of people, particularly given the volume we are seeing already at the stadium. My concern is, I'm wondering what strategy, I believe they must have a strategy they have in place to ensure that there will be a good flow, whether they will ask people to vacate and whether people will listen or how the viewing will be done. It will be interesting to see that, because there should be much order.
Yes, but surely when they bring the body in, do you think people will go outside that particular stadium and start lining up?
That's the thing. If they're airlifting, by now they should have already removed people, unless there's a different strategy.
Now we can also tell you that those people have already been informed by now that the body will not be snaking through the great city of KISUMU, because many people had already not only converged outside the KISUMU International Airport, but at the Kondele roundabout as well. They were waiting, given that that is a particular stretch that the convoy was expected to use. But right now, if you're joining us, good morning, our viewers, the body, or rather the casket that is carrying the body of the ODM leader Raila Odinga has already been placed in that particular aircraft you're seeing on your screen. It will be airlifted from the KISUMU International Airport to the grounds you're already seeing, already full to capacity at the Mamboleo grounds. It will be taken there. It will be airborne any moment from now and then taken to the Mamboleo grounds, where people will be having an opportunity. But before people start viewing the body, there will be a short ceremony, especially led by the religious leaders there, to pray for the body and to pray for the country as well, and for the family of Odinga. During this trying moment, it will seem the people have already been informed that the gun carriage they were expecting to carry the casket of the ODM leader Raila Odinga, manned by KDF, will not be used at this particular instance to save on time. That is what some of the leaders, even Paul Otomo was talking earlier, the governor of Busia, so as to pay the last respects and to ensure many people are able to see the body of the ODM leader Raila Odinga. Then after this particular short ceremony that will be carried out to Mamboleo grounds, the body viewing will continue till late in the afternoon, where the body is expected once more to be airlifted from KISUMU all the way to Bondo, Siaya, for the final resting place of Raila Odinga, and for the family as well, given that Kango Kajaramogi in Siaya County is the homestead where Raila Odinga's father, the late independence icon Jaramogi Oginga Odinga, was laid to rest in 1994. Raila mothers as well, Mary Juma Odinga, who was also buried in the family graveyard. Now, Buru's intervention is seen to be a decisive moment, given that he went there after the body arrived into the country, and of course giving his last respects before he headed over to the homestead of Raila Odinga in Opoda Farm, where he officially even opened the house so that the people can come in and mourn with the family, given that now, substantively now, he is the head of the family. And now we are waiting to see as and when that particular aircraft will leave the KISUMU International Airport. Already, given that the timeline's already set, the body was expected at the stadium at exactly 8. Now it is 16 minutes past 8 a.m. in the morning. The body exactly left a few minutes after 6 a.m. at the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport, carried by a Kenya Air Force aircraft, and now it will be set up in the Kenya Air Force helicopters there. And you can see already celebrations inside there, Millie, at the Mamboleo grounds. People are carrying those leaves.
Yes.
The energy of not only this community, but the supporters of the ODM leader Raila Odinga is something to revel at.
It is true. It is true, because that is just the love that they've had for the gentleman. And I think the opportunity to express themselves, he allows them, he has always allowed his people to express themselves, whether you are the kind who believe in doing so vocally, or you are the kind who want to do it by way of dancing. You remember even this, there was a person who died some years ago, and he had been a staunch supporter. He always used to paint himself in those colors.
Yes.
And Raila was there with him even at that time, was with the family. So I think it's a good thing. As you mentioned already, Oburu, who has always been the head of the family after the father passed away, went and did a very, very important traditional role, where he declares that this has happened, and so that the official mourning and officially people can confirm
Yes.
that this has happened and now the preparations are in place, and so that the elders can also confirm. The key thing normally that needs to be done is to identify the burial spot.
Yes.
So it's good that he was able to set that officially in motion, so that even though it is a state funeral, you do not forget that this is a person who comes from a family, from a home, from a community with traditions, and the family and kinsmen are given that opportunity to also play their part in ensuring that that is done. I'm glad, as you said, that the leadership of ODM is playing a very key role there. I would have liked to see Senator Osotsi, who is also one of the members of the funeral committee, and is also one of the deputy party leaders, if I'm not wrong, of ODM. It would have been good to also see him there, but I'm glad to see that at least Governor Otuoma is there. So that we know also that ODM has got its key leadership out there. And I say this because remember that the Deputy President stated, I think in his first address to the nation, or in the second, that they would work together with the ODM structures to ensure that there was security, you know, and that there was some form of control. So knowing that the ODM leadership is playing a key role will reassure us that there's likely to be that security, because they were supposed to work together with the funeral committee and the government structures to see that there's that control and that security, because we do not want to see what happened in Kasarani at all again, not for Raila. And we would want as much as possible to respect Oburu's cry and plea to us that we should not tear gas Raila in his death.
Yes, he has been tear gassed too much.
He has been tear gassed
in his
enough.
lifetime. That is what Oburu was clearly stating. Now, the Kisumu International Airport officials and KDF as well, especially military police, are clearing the vicinity around that particular aircraft you're seeing on your screen, where the members of the State Funeral Committee, being spearheaded by the Deputy President Professor Kithure Kindiki and co-chaired by Senator Oburu Oginga, have decided that it will be airlifted from Kisumu International Airport all the way to Mamboleo grounds. At the middle of the pitch, we have already witnessed one aircraft that has brought members of the cloth and a sheikh inside the Mamboleo grounds. That is the same manner that the body will be taken out. Of course, we expect
the remains of Raila Amolo Odinga. This is Kisumu Airport, and of course security has been beefed up. Ourselves gaining access to this particular spot wasn't so easy. We had to beg our way in, and actually not everyone is allowed in here. Fine, people are just gathered at the gate, but access to the airport is so limited. Only some elected